Good evening, Mr. Burns. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm fine, thank you.
First, we're going to start 45 questions with you. And could you first say hi and do a short introduction about yourself?
Hi, yes, I'm Mr. Burns. I teach English A Language and Literature and Theory of Knowledge here at GAFL, and I'm from the UK.
Okay, then what was the incident that made you think that you wanted to become an English teacher? Are there any episodes you want to share?
There's no particular incident, but I came to Korea for a business trip, and then I decided that I wanted to do a bit of traveling and a bit of English teaching. Mm-hmm. And then while I was here, gradually I found the kind of job that I wanted to do.
Okay, then could you tell us briefly what English A students learn during their classes?
So we read texts, and some of them are literature and some of them are language. So the literature ones might be graphic novels, poetry, novels, short stories. And the language ones could be speeches, essays, journal articles, or even artworks or photographs.
Mm-hmm. Then what is the attractive part of English A? What is the uniqueness of English A compared to English B?
Really they're totally different things. So the English A is all about learning different kinds of texts and analyzing them to see how they work. So we're not really focused on learning English, we're focused on reading texts.
Okay, then some students say English A is harder than English B. Do you believe this is true?
Well, it depends how good you are at English already. Again, they're kind of different things. English B is aimed at learning English to a high level, while English A is more about reading texts and doing analysis. So you can think of English A in the same way you think of Korean A.
I see. Then if so, what makes you think it makes English A harder?
Because one is aimed at native speakers and one is for learning English as a second language.
Okay, then if you would come to GAFL and as a student, will you take English A or English B?
I think I couldn't take English B because as someone who was born in England, I am a native speaker of English, so it would be pretty pointless.
Okay, then any suggestions on skills for students who should practice or who are preparing for English A?
Read.
Okay, then are there any other subjects that are related to English A? What are some subjects that are good to take with English A?
I think the closest relationships from English A, of course Korean A is the same course but in Korean, but ones that have related skills are probably history, where you're also doing a lot of reading and evaluating and interpreting, which is also the kind of analytical skills that you need for English A. But also theory of knowledge, where you're making connections between real life texts and abstract ideas.
Did you take history during your high school?
I did history A level, yes.
Oh, I see. And what do you expect from students who are willing to take English A?
Be willing and happy to read.
I see. So it's all about reading books, I guess?
Well, reading is the first step to understanding and being able to write. You can't write well if you don't know what good writing looks like.
Okay, then what do you expect from students who are already taking English A, like me?
Like you, I expect you to listen in class and follow instructions, and to try to read as much as possible, and if you can, try to maintain some kind of your own reading interest outside of class, whether that's reading about your favorite movies or music, or reading about novels that you like, sci-fi, horror, whatever. You try to maintain those interests.
Okay, now I have some questions about our school, GAFL. So first, what was your first impression of our school?
My first impression, I already had heard of the school because I lived in the area and knew some people that were here. So I knew it was a school for highly intelligent, hard-working students.
Okay, then based on your expectations, what do you think of the students in GAFL?
I think that the way they manage to do everything that they have to do here at GAFL, including making videos, it's amazing the way they can juggle all the activities.
Okay, then what do you like to do in school during any empty periods?
There are no empty periods for a teacher. During that time, I'm preparing my classes or marking or trying or reading or trying to think about what I should do to improve my classes in the future.
Then any episodes during your first years in GAFL?
Any episodes?
Yeah.
Like what?
Interesting or maybe something that's not very interesting?
I think the nicest thing is seeing. Nicest thing is seeing the students develop and change and become young adults as they go into DP2 and then taking their IB finals and then coming back to visit us looking like real human beings.
Then when was your favorite time during GAFL?
Favorite time? The time I like the best is sitting in class talking about a book that I enjoy with the students and hearing some new ideas from them. Things that I never thought about myself.
Okay, have you been to the Mejum? Is there any favorite snack from the Mejum you like?
The thing I buy most frequently from the Mejum is just hetbang.
Hetbang?
Yeah, and a lot of students see me buying hetbang only and assume that I'm only eating hetbang, but usually I bring some food from home and try to match it with the hetbang. Yeah, so that's what I buy most.
Then are there any 3 things you need to survive in GAFL?
That I need to survive or that one needs to survive?
You need to survive.
That I need to survive my car, good coffee, and sandwiches.
Oh, sandwiches?
Yeah.
What kind of sandwiches?
Every day my wife makes me a selection of delicious sandwiches. So from paninis to bagels.
Okay. Then it seems like you turn the track frequently during lunchtime. How many times do you turn the track per week?
Per week? I don't know, but I have a step count on my phone and I aim to do more than 5,000 steps a day. So yeah, probably 3,000 or 4,000 on the track, I guess.
Okay. Are there any track mates that you turn the track with?
I guess if you look out, probably you'll see me most with Mr. Richard and Mr. Chris.
Okay. Now I have some personal questions. So first, what is your favorite text type in general?
My favorite text type? I kind of don't like that terminology, even though it's from the IB. The books that I like to read, I guess I prefer short stories the most.
Okay, then what is your favorite books, and could you explain your reasons?
I like the short stories of Franz Kafka. You may have heard of The Metamorphosis, where Rito Samsa wakes up one day and he's turned into a gigantic cockroach.
I see. Then is there any favorite quote from literature?
Samuel Beckett, and I think this is a good one for all students to remember. Fail again, fail better.
Okay. Then if you could meet any fictional characters in the book that you've read, what characters would you meet and why?
That's a tough one. I think that if I were going to choose one fictional character to meet, I don't know, I guess I'm reading The Trial right now because we're going to do that in DP2 later. So I'd like to meet Joseph K and just tell him to get on a train and to leave Prague.
Okay. Then some students ask where you learned your jokes from.
What jokes?
During English A, your jokes that kind of popped up.
They're not learned from anywhere. It's just spontaneous ad-libbing. I like to vibe with the moment.
Okay. And do you have any favorite Korean singers or K-pop songs?
I don't like K-pop, so that's maybe a mistake for me to say that. But I like old, like Korean rock stuff from the 1970s, such as San Ulim, or that's one I can remember right now. Yeah, San Ulim.
Sanuli?
Yeah.
Tauri?
San Ulim. San Ulim. Like
Okay.
mountain is crying, almost crying mountain.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then, do you have any favorite Korean food you enjoy?
I love Chukumi samgyeopsal.
Oh,
Yeah.
very detailed Korean food.
Yeah.
Then, are there any hobbies you made after living in Korea?
The hobbies I made, hiking. Yeah.
Is there any favorite hike spots you have in Korea?
Well, these days I live in Suwon, so I go to Gyeonggi quite a lot.
Okay. Then I heard you majored in philosophy in college. How did you get interested in philosophy?
Yeah, my major is English and philosophy, so it's joint honours. I read some Dostoevsky novels when I was like 14, 15, and I got interested in philosophy from that. There's a lot of ethical discussions, and for example, the brothers Karamazov.
Then, what was the most interesting question you encountered while studying your major in college, and what was the reason behind it?
Like philosophical question?
Yeah.
I think the philosophical question probably I encountered before that, and it comes from Hamlet. And that would be, to be or not to be, that is the question. And that really, when you're reading philosophy, that's the essential question you're asking, why do we exist?
Okay, then what would you prefer if you would be an year with 35 students taking English A or just one student taking English A?
One! That's an easy question.
One student?
Yeah, one student, absolutely.
Okay.
It would be awkward, but it would be a lot more rewarding, I think, for everybody.
Okay, this is my last question. So, do you have any final words to say for the students who are watching this?
Enjoy your reading.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for having 45 questions with us, and I hope to see you next time.
Good, thanks for speaking with me.
Bye.
Bye.